Those bombshell claims by Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi that really set in motion a whole series of events that culminated ultimately in the swearing-in ceremony for now Minister Feroz Khachalia. And as we watch that, we also, of course, watching with bated breath the ANC's highly anticipated National Executive Committee meeting that's going to take place in Ormonde in the south of Johannesburg. Let's distill over all these issues for you. Bring in now our politics editor, Mzwandile Mbeje, who joins us now in studio. Mzwa, it's great to see you.
Thank you.
Thanks as always for popping by. I want to just start by helping our viewer understand what seems like a technicality, but it is ultimately important when we understand how the law works. Feroz Khachalia has just taken his affirmation as a Minister of Police, while Senzo Mchunu is also still a Minister of Police. How do we square the circle?
No, I think let's put it this way. The President can appoint someone to be a minister in his cabinet. And that's what he has just done. And we know why the President made this specific decision, because the current Minister of Police is on leave. So because he wanted someone to act in that position, so he then had to appoint him as the minister. First, he appointed him as the minister in cabinet.
So a minister without a portfolio.
We have had that before. You would remember the President Mandela, I think, was it Jane Naidu, who was appointed as the minister without portfolio. So in this instance, he is the minister, because for you to be in cabinet, not even the deputy ministers belong to cabinet. Cabinet is only the president, deputy president, and the ministers. So you cannot assign a deputy minister, for example, to act in the ministerial position. The president decided, because he is allowed to go outside, he can appoint at least no more than two people into these rules that he has just decided to do. So what the president decided to do was that he will appoint Professor Khachalia as the minister, and then once he's appointed as the minister, then he will give him the roles to act as the police minister, because the police minister is on leave.
Okay, we're going to try to hold on to that.
In fact, even the president was saying himself, there's a lot of technicality that will be clarified going forward. So he himself acknowledges that it does confuse to the ordinary men and women in the street, because Senzo Mchunu remains the police minister.
Yeah.
Yes. That's why Feroz Khachalia will be the acting police minister.
All right, so he's just been brought into the fold of cabinet members and assigned the responsibility of acting police minister.
Yes.
We'll try hold on to that as much as we can. The president saying that, look, hopefully by the time the first report from the inquiry headed by retired Justice Nhlanhla comes through, there'll be a whole lot more clarity.
Yes.
Whatever that means. And I wonder what you're reading to that, by the way. This idea that the president is hoping for, you know, it almost seems to me like he's saying, my gun can only be loaded once I have something on my table.
Yeah, because, you know, as much as the president put the minister on special leave, so he was very well aware that these allegations as yet are not tested. So, I mean, what some people are saying is that why didn't you dismiss the minister? But the president is saying at this stage, let's afford the minister the opportunity to explain himself. So perhaps after 3 months, the picture will be clearer. And if the president feels the minister didn't do anything that warrants the dismissal, he's probably going to bring him back, whether in the police or in some different department. It's a different story altogether. But the fact of the matter, I think the president wants to then be able to be in a position to form a proper view and an idea before he moves. So that's why he's giving them 3 months and 6 months. So I hope by that time, I think in 3 months, he should be in a position to decide what exactly he's doing.
All right, let's speak a bit more about Professor Feroz Khachalia. It's not his first stint in public office. We know he's worked as an MEC for community safety, I think it was, in Gauteng.
Gauteng, yes.
Again, you know, this is a person entering into incredibly volatile land, you know, because of the expectations around what he will do to calm these troubled waters.
And I think, the president looked for someone who currently is not necessarily part of what is happening so that the credibility remains of whatever is happening at the moment. I mean, he has announced the commission, but also someone who has an experience, who has worked in these areas. So you get someone who is outside but is very well aware of what is happening. So it will be then easier to steer the ship as the commission does its work. So I think that was what informed the president to say, I could easily pick one of my ministers, but my ministers are in cabinet. What if some of those allegations and then go as far as touching some of the departments? So that's my view. He basically thought maybe let's just deal with people who are outside, so that whatever allegation that is being done here, if let's say he had appointed, let's say the minister, I'm not going to mention any portfolio, and then what if somehow as the evidence is being led, somehow the department gets involved. So it contaminates the entire process. So in my view, the president decided to then get someone completely free of this, but someone who has played a role, who understands the issues of security and community.
Yeah. We know, of course, that all of these issues are likely to feature at the ANC's NEC meeting, which is taking place in Ormonde over the next couple of days. And I wonder whether you're hearing anything about the approach to these matters, because, again, it doesn't feel like there's anybody who is going to get out of this unscathed, if you know what I mean. You know, the SAPS has a stake in this. I know political parties are watching very closely, and the ANC itself will have a lot to say, given, I suppose, you know, how their own employee was implicated.
Definitely. I think that's one of the main topics. They will speak about these issues, the commission, the allegations, obviously not necessarily going into detail because there are platforms where they will be ventilated, but they'll speak as a party. They need to have an opinion and how to approach all of this. And then not only will they end at there, they will also look at the issue around the GNU. Remember, this NEC has been postponed, I think, about twice. So clearly there are many weighty issues that await them. So we expect that after this weekend, so a lot more would have developed. But definitely the Mkhwanazi allegations and the commission will be top, and then the GNU will certainly be top.
Sure. All right. You and I can only sit here and speculate. Our senior reporter, Samkele Maseko, is actually in Ormonde for us and hopefully is able to join us now live. Samkele, we are seeing in many ways some senior ANC officials having already taken their seats at the moment. I can see the former president of the country and of the party in Thabo Mbeki there. You're in the room for us. Take us through just, I suppose, the general sense of what you reckon is likely to unfold this weekend, given what's at stake.
Yes, indeed. The former president is inside the venue with leaders of the ANC. Former President Mbeki is inside. President Ramaphosa. It's just the Deputy President Paul Mashatile who's not yet inside. They will be looking at the government of national unity. They will be looking at the issues pertaining to the Minister of Electricity that my colleague Thule Munare was showing you on the energy availability factor, the performance of the South African economy, and other factors that pertain to the functioning of the government of national unity, particularly on matters pertaining to the budget and the passing of the budget. You can see Malusi Kigaba, who's also a doctor who has just been awarded a doctorate. He's also within the NEC meeting of the African National Congress. They will be looking at matters pertaining to the economy, to the government of national unity, and to the upcoming G20 that is coming to the country, that will look at particularly international relations, the issue of President Ramaphosa, the issues that he'll be pushing for Africa, particularly on the G20 summit, with South Africa having that particular presidency. Those are some of the matters that are going to be ventilated within this National Executive Committee. The state of readiness from the ANC's perspective for the G20 summit, and also the economy. That is the main thrust that is going to be the bone of contention. The performance of the South African economy. They've gotten through the hurdle of passing of the budget. There will be a report that will be tabled by the Secretary General of the ANC, Fikile Mbalula, that will be looking at the functioning of the government government of national unity. The Secretary General of the ANC will come out shortly to brief the media on matters pertaining to this specific National Executive Committee. We also do see Panyaza Lusufi, who is the who is the co-convener of Gauteng. He has just gone in now. Gauteng will be a topic of issue, particularly on the metros of this particular economic hub of the country, looking into matters pertaining to the state of readiness, as I said earlier on, for hosting of the G20 summit. We are in the Ormonde area of the south of Johannesburg, where the G20 summit is envisaged that it will be held in the Nasrec Expo Center in the south of Johannesburg. So that will look at the state of cleanliness of this particular area. We are now effectively going out, as you can see in our visuals that we are showing you, the Secretary General of the ANC, Fikile Mbalula, coming out to brief the media and to give the agenda of this National Executive Committee. And that all-important report he will table to the NEC on the functioning of the government of national unity, the relations between the ANC and the Democratic Alliance, engagement with other political parties. We do know that the EFF is waiting at the doorstep. They are knocking as well, wanting to be part of government, but a government that does not include the Democratic Alliance. We do remember the DA had threatened that they will not vote for the budget in Parliament. They ended up voting for the budget. So one wonders what that iPad of Fikile Mbalula has in it when it pertains to the report that must be tabled by him on the functioning steps of the government of national unity. You have to excuse our shot a bit. It is a bit shaky between me and my colleague Tulo Munare. So those are some of the issues that will be ventilated. As you can see, Zamani Sol as well, who's the chairperson of the ANC in the Northern Cape. He has arrived. arrived. It's going to be rather interesting on the deliberations on the government of national unity, the relationship of the ANC and the Democratic Alliance. There are those in the NEC who have been pushing for the DA to be removed from the government of national unity. We are now just essentially going to take in this briefing of ANC members still arriving. As you can see, Batabile Dlamini, NEC member, former president of the ANC Women's League, who is also the National Executive Committee member of the ANC, who will be forming part of the meeting. We still anticipate Deputy President Paul Mashatile. He was on a working visit in KwaZulu-Natal yesterday. You did see him in KwaXimba in his official capacity as second in command of state in KwaXimba with our colleagues in Piwe Makanya there. Those are some of the issues, particularly that may be ventilated on the dented and continued denting of the ANC's public image that is seemingly being battered day in and day out. So we are anticipating that over the course of the weekend, we will get those reports, and there will be a number of briefings, as Mahlengi Pengu Mutsiri, the spokesperson of the ANC, would say that as of tomorrow, they will be having a number of series of briefings of what they deliberated upon on the first day and the first part of the second day of the ANC.